Hello, in this video, we are going to talk about a new project in which um, we are combining two flats. So the plan that you see on the screen right now is given by the builder, and that builder is making these typical plans where there are two flats, one on the left side, one on the right side, and both of them are 3BHK, 1B, 2B, 3B, HK, and there are two toilets, one common and one attached. The client wanted to combine these two flats and make it into four bedroom, three halls, four toilets, and just one kitchen, not two kitchens. So I made that plan, and this video is not about this, the planning of it, but about estimation. So the plan is done, approved by client, approved by the builder, but we need to know what is the cost difference because the builder is making the building according to the typical plan. But now we are proposing this plan. So will it reduce his cost, increase his cost? What would be the difference? So first of all, we look at the walls. How much walls, bricks are increasing or decreasing? For that, you can see when the image is disappearing, you can see this outline that I've made. The green lines are for the outer walls, which are thicker walls, 9-inch or 230 walls, and the inner ones are in orange, and they are the half brick thick walls, 115 So I've traced them out. Same thing I've done in my case. I will show you what I did with layers, and I've put them in different layers. So I select everything and hide them. You can see these things are all in wall 115 layer, orange in color, and all the outer walls are in 230 layer. So everything is nice and clean. So once I put that, um, I added a Lisp to my AutoCAD, and which helped me in basically calculating all the lines length and giving me the final outcome. And I put that in the table over here. Tables are horrible in AutoCAD, but it worked out fine. So for example, for the 230 wall, I turn off all the other layers, just keep the 230 layer turned on like this. Then I select all the lines, execute the Lisp command, which is tlen, t total length, short for total length, and that gives me 60.4 meters in length. Then I put the conversion factor to get the running feet. I did that for both these plans for all the three typology of walls: 230 wall, 115 wall, and all the balconies. Then I calculated the cost by two different methods. One is the area method, which is, let's say, the 230 wall has 125 rupees per square feet cost. So I got the total area um, by taking the height 10.5 feet, taking this running length um, to get the area, and then I multiply it with 125. So that gives me 260,000 for 230 wall, 228,000 for 238 wall for combined plan, the new plan that I made for the client. I did for all of these three typologies, and then the total outcome was 427,000 and 400,000. So the difference is 25,000. Another method to calculate is getting the volume of the total masonry. So I get a very lengthy formula for that, in which it's pretty obvious. I get the length of all the walls, multiply it by the thickness of the wall, multiply it by the height of the wall. And I did for all of three typologies for the balcony. So in that case, we get in cubic meters because that's the native dimensions we are working with. So that becomes 68.9 cubic meter for the original plan and 63 for my proposed plan, which is reduced. And then we get the number of bricks because I know that there are 500 bricks per cubic meter of wall volume. In that case, we have reduced 3,000 bricks. So here it is 34,000. This is 31,000. So we've reduced 3,000 bricks. We know the cost of bricks to be 6 rupees per brick. So we get the reduced cost. Also, we add in the labor rate, plaster rate, paint, and mortar. So surprisingly, it did come out to be very close to the lump sum rate that we were doing. So here it is 430,000. Here it is 427. Here it is 394. Here it is 400. Why I did two methods is because firstly I did this one by cubic meter, but then I realized that the paint mortar, how is this going to be calculated by just the number of bricks rate? Because you see, these are the number of these are the rates per brick for labor, plaster, paint, mortar. But this methodology does not consider the thickness of walls separately. It's just combining everything into one chunk and then doing it. But surprisingly, it did come out to be pretty close. Um, but I would trust this one more because I'm considering labor, plaster, paint, mortar. Awesome. So that was 25,000 saved. Next would be windows. Now, the original plan has very less number of windows and also they are smaller. In my case, I've got very wide windows, ribbon windows. I've got some tall windows near the beds. So that makes our area a bit more. And how I did is, of course, I got the width of the window, I got the sill level, lintel level. From that, you get the height. I did this so that more information is gathered into this table, and it's easier to tally and design later on. So I got the width, height, that will give me the area, number of quantity of all the windows. And then I add all the areas and multiply it by 650, which would be the square foot rate for aluminum windows, including the grill. And surprisingly, here exactly 25,000 rupees. We are exceeding by 25,000 rupees. So the wall area is adjusted with the windows. Indoors, it needs to be discussed because we've got one sliding door. So we are exceeding a bit. But other things that need to be discussed, which cannot be calculated right now, is that in the original plan, there are these toilets on the bottom left and then bottom right. In our plan, I have tried to maintain the same thing. Like there's a toilet over here, there are two toilets over here, but one toilet is pretty far off. So there will be some extra plumbing that would be required for sewage extraction and also getting the water in. So there will be some cost that has increased. Secondly, there are two kitchens in the original one, but one kitchen over here. So we are saving in two ways. One is the extra plumbing that is required for the kitchen to come over here, or maybe we are using the same plumbing to get water into a toilet. So we need to discuss that. Uh, and the second is countertop. We have reduced the countertop area by a bit here because we have only one kitchen. That is around 1,500 per square feet. So there are cabinets and everything involved. Secondly, wall tiles that are near the countertop, that is also reduced because we are reducing a chunk of kitchen. Other than that, everything remains the same, like the false ceiling plane remains the same. Number of toilets are also the same, so we are not um, gonna talk about that. So I think that is all for now, and the meeting is set tomorrow. Let's see how it goes. Yeah. Other than that, one more thing that we can do is probably get the square feet area of the doors and then multiply it with the rate. But it's almost the same, and there are so little doors. I did not do that. So hope you find this insightful, and this was educational. So see you in the next one.